if you know the problem is very well known, but you don't quite understand the solutions yet, but the problem is very well contextualized and articulated, then you can actually design a solution for it. And often, well, this is a null set because there's no known solution to an unknown problem. But this is an adaptation kind of thing, saying that, okay, we know that it works in this context. Let's see if it works in that context and try to extend it, right? Extend it and see how it can be made to work. But if you're in this domain, right, this domain, then all bets are off. Everything you've done before is not a good bet for what you should do, right? So then you use a different technique. You design. You design. It's an act of design because you haven't done it before. So then what you do is you take the wisdom of what you've done out here, but you don't do it by just a linear extrapolation. You use the wisdom and you use the techniques that have been proven and the mistakes people have made. You definitely gain that knowledge, but you're designing something new, and so you use these innovation techniques. So essentially, if you want future impact, there's tactical impact to be had, there's strategic, but then bounded function to be had, and really deep transformation to be had. And different types of solutions give you different types of results. So if you use just the solution you know, don't expect to have deeply transformative effect if they haven't had deeply transformative effect before. Unless they're exactly in conditions, right? If the same conditions and they work transformatively, by all means use it, right? Pathways and platforms are really important in doing a much more systemic approach. But if you really want deep transformation, you need new paradigms that are integrated, okay? And those cannot be created within the bounds of the disciplines that we currently have. We need to surround the problem with a collection of different kinds of thinking so that the new thinking can emerge. That is the beautiful opportunity you have as the Rand Lab, right? Do not do what the world has just done and not achieve fantastic results with. Create the new thinking, right? It's a fantastic opportunity, and once you create those opportunities, you evaluate them in terms of whether it's going to make broad and scaled impact, whether it's viable, whether it's feasible, in the context of larger social issues, larger geographical issues. So the way you do that is you have a massive challenge, you need to get out there, and there's a chasm, right? You cannot cross a chasm in 2 leaps. So you actually really think about what you're going to do aggressively, very aggressive, grand, future vision which is aggressive, and then figure out how to bridge it. And the bridging is a process which just has the stage, right, with the implementation, etc., and roll the implementation challenges. And essentially what you're doing is there's a whole gear train. Every inefficiency in each of these is going to affect the entire system efficiency. But the first thing you're doing is figuring out what your intention is. What is your goal? How can you have you identified really powerful innovation leverage points? Have you created the enabling systems and the pathways to deliver on those, right? Are you gearing up for broad and deep implementation? Are you figuring out that, are you building in the scalability into the thing so that you're not dealing with something that doesn't have the DNA of scaling, and then you're trying to scale it after the fact, right? A system, the thinking that we've seen all too often, right? You're looking at the scaling and building it in, right? And then you essentially are, even after you do it, that's not enough. You have to sustain the behavior. You have to keep it as a sustainable issue so the thread of capacity runs right through. So essentially it's a process built out of a mind frame where you're saying it's not just about tried and tested methods, it's about a transformation mindset. How do we transform, right? And it's not just to manage the present mindset, it is creating the future mindset. We are in the business of creating an alternate future, right? Not just managing the current problem, because the current problem, the problem is going to outpace our current problem. So the processes that we're going to teach you and you're going to be involved in has to do with moving the needle somehow. And moving the needle has to do with the potency of the intervention. how innovative is it? Have you built in scalability? Are you thinking in terms of how fast it's going to innovate? What are the ways in which you can make it even faster? And are you doing it in an integrated way? Or are you going to allow all sorts of unintended consequences to happen and you're not looking at it in a broad system view, in a whole system view, right? Not so that you can try and regurgitate them, but create a new headspace. That is the headspace that we're going to occupy, but we are going to scaffold the process. We're going to ask you specific questions, you're going to imagine, make decisions, and then move in a methodical way. Okay? Let's break for lunch.